Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
What is going on, everybody? This is Mike Hughes, and you are listening to the All Sports, All Plays Network, aka the ASAP Network. We got some breaking news that happened a little bit earlier yesterday. Just winding down and talking about it. We really haven't had a chance to discuss it. Obviously, the afternoon show wasn't on today, and we do apologize for that. But we will be back tomorrow, better than ever. We have some pregame and post-practice interviews with the Chicago Sky, Alana Smith, Dana Evans, and Coach E coming up for you very shortly with myself and a few others who asked amazing questions and just had to scoop them up, give them some credit, but you have to talk about it. I'm really excited about today's conversation because I hate it. And I love when I don't like things because I could be genuine and be real about the situation. DeAndre Hopkins, the man that we've all been waiting for to sign in free agency. You know, I feel like that's one of the biggest platforms for us all summer long. Isn't baseball. It isn't the NBA free agency. It has nothing to do with that. But something that everybody loves and everybody tunes into is NFL free agency. It's some of the most important pieces to what makes the 2023 or the 2024 season for NFL teams. And this was one of those moves that obviously DeAndre Hopkins signs a 2-year, $26 million deal with the Tennessee Titans. This move makes zero sense to me. I mean, this is just a place where wide receivers go to die, or guys like A.J. Brown and Treylon Burks are going to get out of. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the future with obviously guys like Treylon Burks, and if he starts to follow in those footsteps of leaving just like A.J. Brown. But when you've seen individuals like Randy Moss, Julio Jones, and many others just run in and out of those doors and just never leave there with anything, it's very difficult to have these conversations and say, I think this is going to be beneficial for not only the Titans, but for DeAndre Hopkins. Like we talked about it all offseason. We talked about New England and what that could potentially be with obviously Bill Belichick and Mac Jones. We talked about maybe taking a pay cut to go somewhere play with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, or Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, and the reigning champs and the Kansas City Chiefs. And even, you know what? I'm not trying to be biased. We're not going to turn it into a Bears conversation, but there was even a reasonable conversation of, hey, well, the Bears have $40 million in cap space left. Maybe you can get 20 out of them. You know what I mean? Just as a veteran presence there with DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, and Chase Claypool, like that would be beneficial. He ends up taking roughly around $13 million a year. Not sure if it's guaranteed or not, but I did see there are incentives. If he has in a single season over 10 touchdowns, 95 receptions, and I forget how many yards, I think over 1,000 yards, he'll get an extra $5 to $6 million in total. He has to do that throughout the next 2 years. I think it's like 3 years for each one of those incentives. So $26 million, roughly around $32 million in total. It's a horrible move, in my opinion. You know, I think, you look at it, Malik Willis, you're looking at Will Levis and Ryan Tannehill. Why? Like no offensive line. The defense has been destroyed. They just lost Nate Davis in free agency, obviously one of their top offensive linemen to the Chicago Bears. Bless. But in all seriousness, you have these talks and you're like, why, what went through your mind when you were making this deal? And obviously I think a big part of it is the 2-year option. You want to play more years. You don't want to sign for a 1-year deal. And then something happens to you, God forbid. So you want that security. We have a lot of things going on right now throughout the league. And I felt like this was one of those moves that just doesn't make sense to me because he talked about all offseason. And at the end of the day, it's a business. It's a business at the end of the day, no matter what. I don't care what anybody says. If you throw money at them, they're going to take it. And as they should. You know what I mean? Like, I'm one of those guys. Like, I truly believe. I love T. Higgins. If T. Higgins takes the pay cut to stay with Joe Burrow, like, you're crazy. Like, go get your money, bro. Like, it's what it comes down to. So I think for me, what's so important about this and why this is going to hurt the future of DeAndre Hopkins is you've already gotten the bag. You've already been one of the highest paid wide receivers in the league, obviously, when you were with the Arizona Cardinals, and you were obviously with the Houston Texans and so many other opportunities and moments to where you could have been one of the highest paid players in the league. When you look at his net worth and how much he's made in total, he's made over $100 million in his NFL career. So right now, to me, it's a big legacy thing. And I think when it comes down to it, are you going to say DeAndre Hopkins is going to be a big part of this league 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years, 5 years from now? I'm not sure. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that when you could potentially go somewhere like here. I think there's really no room for growth, I guess is the right word you could say with that. There's no room for growth with this team. I feel like this is just a rebuilding team. For the Titans, I think it's, hey, Treylon Burks isn't fully ready yet. So let's have him be developed and slowly get into this. We're going to develop guys like Will Levis. So then those two are the future, while Ryan and Hop can obviously hold it down for now, but that's not the way it should go. So stock is definitely down for Treylon Burks in fantasy right now. Stock is down for DeAndre Hopkins because I think they're just going to continue to run the ball with Derrick Henry. It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting. I just don't see, like, at the end of the day, you had Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Let's even throw in Justin Fields and Mac Jones in the conversation of teams that could have been interested in you. And you signed with a revolving door of Malik Willis, Will Levis, and Ryan Tannehill. And that's the craziest part is right now we're hearing that Malik is outperforming Will Levis, and that's expected because obviously Malik's been in the league for over a year now. So I don't hold too much into that, but it's definitely room for concern if I'm DeAndre Hopkins of not even knowing who my quarterback's going to be for my second year of my deal. You know what I mean? We got a couple comments in here. Glenn, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you for tuning in. We got my guy, Dan. How's everything going? Maybe his management threw out talks with the Chiefs to gain traction, and that's the only team that picked up on it. And yeah, I think that's a reasonable conversation. Is like, that's why D-Hop said, like, I want to go win a championship. I want to go contend. I want to go do this. I want to go do that. And I think it was so important that he said that because that attracts the teams that want to win a championship. Hey, are we going to potentially be able to get this guy for cheaper? And then it makes the teams that aren't really in the position to win a championship, like the Titans, say, all right, we got to throw him $26 million guaranteed and then throw a couple incentives in there. So making $13 million a year at that age, I mean, I'm not mad about it. You know what I mean? Like, he made in his time with the Cardinals, he made $54 million, including a $27 million re-signing bonus. So I think that's something that, or signing bonus, not re-signing bonus, pardon me. But when you look at it for, just his entire career, the guy's made a shit ton of money. I mean, the guy has made some coin. And I think that's what confused me the most about the deal. From 2017 to 2022, DeAndre Hopkins made over $81 million in a signed contract with a signing bonus of over $7 million. So roughly a little over $88 million. And I think when you look at that and you say, okay, so in total, outside of him just being, in his rookie deal where he's making around $7 million from 2013 to 2017 in the entry level, he's made roughly around $100 million. And that's just off the NFL alone. Like, endorsements and so many other things are such a huge part of that. But I just, man, it's so frustrating because this is a guy that throughout my childhood is one of the best wide receivers I've ever seen. Throughout my childhood. Like, there's the guys like Calvin Johnson. There's the guys like Randy Moss. There's the guys like DeAndre Hopkins and Julio Jones. And we can have these conversations all day long. But the one thing D-Hop never got that opportunity to do, that's also Calvin Johnson never got, that also Julio Jones never got. Julio got close. He came close. But he never got that Super Bowl championship. And I felt like this was your window to do so. You know what I mean? Like, you're coming off an injury-ridden season. You're coming off a suspension for steroids. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. So I guess getting your bag is kind of the most important part of that, of like, okay, I need security. Like, I need to make sure I can sustain this. And, at the end of the day, it's so much bigger than football. And I think that's what comes down to it. But I would have loved to see DeAndre Hopkins paired up with Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Dawson Knox. I mean, we could do this all day. Imagine if a guy like Brian Dable was still there, but at the end of the day, I think this is a good opportunity for D-Hop to make some money. Obviously, I think statistically it'll be a little different. I think it'll be interesting to say the least, to see what really happens with him. I really don't know what way it's going to go. They could have an incredible season, who knows? But I think more times than not, we all understand, like, the writing is on the walls that this is not going to be a good signing for the long run. I'm not excited about it. I'm really not. And I think that's something that is unfortunate, because I was talking about this all off season long, and just breaking down like what could potentially happen. You know what I mean? Like, what could potentially happen with DeAndre Hopkins' career? Where could he go that could make a difference? Could he go to the Eagles? Could he go to the Chiefs, the Bills, the Bengals, etc.? Like, it really could have been an interesting offseason if DeAndre Hopkins went to a contending team. And unfortunately, we're just not going to be able to get that. But at the end of the day, like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to cry about it. It's not spoiled milk. But yeah, it's definitely going to be weird. And here's one of the first images we've seen so far of him, obviously in a Tennessee Titans uniform. I don't hate it. I think it looks pretty decent. I think it's something that, moving forward, I'm going to have to get very used to it, because, I mean, it just doesn't look right. It's one of those shots that you see it and you're just like, no, like, why? You know, kind of like Julio in a Tampa Bay Buccaneers uniform. Like, you're just kind of like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Here's the shot really quick. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say to this. I don't know how to feel to this. It's just kind of there. It's unfortunate, man. It really is. It really is. You know, you could have went to the Jets. You could have went anywhere you wanted in the world. And I hate that I'm coming on here and being negative with you guys. I know usually I'm amped up. Usually I'm excited. I already lost my voice once this week. I'm not going to lose it again. But yeah, I mean, that's really all I got for you guys. That's really the only conversations that we can have. If you guys have any other questions, if you guys want to make a poll, we can discuss it on the ASAP Network sports page. You can check that out on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, wherever. We're going to post that out. How do you guys feel about the DeAndre Hopkins news? You guys know how I feel about it. It's not a weak move. Like, I think, well, especially coming from where you come from, you understand, like, money is everything at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, you're for your family. You know, for you need to be financially set. So he got the money, and over $100 million career earnings. You got to love it for him. You know what I mean? Like, he's well deserved. But I would have loved him, as from one athlete to another, I would have loved him to just, and as just a football fan, to be able to get his flowers, to be able to win a championship and have those conversations that he goes down as one of the all-time greats. And you know, maybe that story is still going to be written. You know what I mean? We really have no idea what could potentially happen this season with not only the Tennessee Titans, but D-Hop in the near future, further than just the Tennessee Titans tenure. You know, what happens after that? Is he still going to be one of the top wide receivers in this league? Is he still going to be in that conversation of top 15, top 20? Can he still bring something to a championship caliber team? Because I don't think D-Hop's at that point like a Julio Jones, where, you know, he's just riding his coattails on the way out. He's, you know, running on fumes. I still think he's got some left in the tank. He's just got to stay on the field to be able to show that. But it's going to be interesting nonetheless. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. If you're new here, definitely smack that follow button. Definitely check us out on Roku TV, Apple TV, Fox D Network, and everywhere else. This is the All Sports All Plays Network, aka the ASAP Network. I am Mike Hughes. You can follow me on all streaming platforms and all social media platforms at the right down below. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I'm really heavy on Instagram and TikTok. I've been getting into Twitter, but I'm also getting into Threads. So I don't know what's going on. But with that being said, I'll check you guys out on the next one. Stay beautiful. Have an amazing day. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and hopefully your week is a lot better than the news of DeAndre Hopkins going to the Tennessee Titans. Peace.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.